Mm. Ah. What's happening, y'all? It's your boy Carly Parshon here with a little paint wet ain't. A little seasoning with some reasoning. It's hot outside. I know y'all probably out somewhere, but y'all need to be tuning in to this right here. If you ain't doing it now, do it later. We gonna be around. What you got for me, mate?
I wish I was out there with y'all, but I'm tired.
Be like that.
Y'all be safe out there, though.
Seem like you get older, you just be like that. Sunshine hit you, you be like, man, I need to be out there.
I know they out there.
Then you be like,
with their skin showing.
Yeah, them sundresses out there today. Got to be out there. Anyway, y'all be safe out there. We gonna do what we do. We gonna get this thing rolling, get this energy high, cause we got a lot to talk about. We gonna get into it and we gonna have some fun, man. We glad y'all up in here with us. Whoever up in here, we appreciate you for coming through. And just stay with us. We gonna keep doing what we do. Yeah, so you know how I like to start out there. Well, first off, before I even get into that stuff, you know, it's my favorite button. But before we even get into that, I just recently came back from out of town. Went to Ireland for St. Patrick's Day. And it's funny, you know, a lot of people like, oh, yeah, nah, I'm good on that. You know, because we black and all of that. But every time we go, we have a great time. And I remember I took Shannon with me. And one time we had a discussion and I told her, you know, for me, when I retire, I'd rather retire outside of the U.S. And she didn't disagree or she didn't say, oh, what's wrong with you? And she just kind of, you know, you get that little scowl like, what are you talking about? So we went out there and she saw how nice the people were. Not saying I would retire in Ireland, but when she saw how nice the people were and it had absolutely, our existence had nothing to do with race. She was like, okay, I can understand why people need to travel abroad to see how people move outside of the U.S. and to see how big race is an issue here.
Okay.
But needless to say, we had a great time. And immediately as we got back, we could notice the difference of how people treated you just because you were black. But
I think that when you go overseas, it's economic. It goes where either rich or poor, right?
Not necessarily.
Depends on where you go.
Right.
Okay.
I think it depends, because you got to look at their history also.
I mean, I don't think the whole, I'm glad y'all, get abroad. I was asked, like, why you ain't go? I'm like, I would go any week, but I just ain't going that week. Like, I don't have an issue with the Irish per se, but I don't see Irish people celebrating Black History Month. I don't see them Juneteenth. I don't see none of that. But my thing is, I always see Black people, they quick to celebrate and somebody else's, but they ain't quick to do that same thing for their own. And that kind of deters me from participation in that, because I don't even want to be grouped in with them, because I know you do celebrate your own. But
right,
it's a lot of turn up for St. Patrick's Day and what we got next, Cinco de Mayo. But when that June comes,
nobody know nothing.
They don't know nothing, and they ain't trying to know nothing. And that's just an issue that I have personally. So like I said, I told you that. I said any other week I'd have went, because I was off.
Yeah.
I said I just ain't going this week.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I don't even want to be into that.
Yeah, that's understandable. Very understandable. We do have to do the due diligence for people to recognize that Juneteenth is a real holiday.
Yeah, absolutely.
I just saw recently somebody
Lucci, what's up?
Was talking about that, and they were just saying how we just, especially here in the South, weren't educated on it. It was one thing that they just didn't teach us about it. But now there's no excuse. There's no excuse. So, but I feel you on that. You on that.
I get that. What you don't know, you can't be a part of. But when you do know,
right,
and you ain't a part of,
yeah,
then what?
it's hard to get people out of their traditions. You know, that same
I mean, but
person.
damn, if you ain't a tradition, I don't know what it is.
You're right.
I mean, come on,
You're
man.
right. So you're asking people to, because for them, 4th of July. And I'm like, people like us that read and know the history of it, come on now, we should have never been celebrating. Frederick Douglass told us that a long time ago. But you get people that now they don't celebrate it for what is actually celebrating. They just say, this is the time for me to hang out with my family.
I mean, you know, a lot of people, and I got friends that they bypass the history part for a good time. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And that's just where we differ.
Right.
You know, so, you know, of course, I don't get invited to the the Cinco's and the 4th of July. I'm not invited to any of that because, you know, they respect my opinion and I respect how they live. You know what I'm saying? There don't be no hard feelings. It's just we look at it different.
Yeah.
You know.
That's what's up. Yeah, I had to throw
holler
that
at
out
me
there.
June though.
Juneteenth.
Yeah, holler at me.
Okay. What you got something lined up?
Oh yeah, actually it's already something I seen on Instagram that they already preparing it for Atlanta.
Okay.
So if you're watching this show, it's 10 of us in here, but I'm gonna say 8 because me and Sean on live as well.
Right.
There is already starting to get plans for Juneteenth here in Atlanta. So
we gonna be there.
you ain't got no damning skills. I'm saying.
Right. We gonna be
I
there.
don't want to hear nobody no job because it's all day.
We gonna be there. Y'all get everywhere else. Anyway.
Go ahead.
We gonna move up, man. I don't want to take no shots.
I'm on their head about that, man.
shot
You know what I'm
at
saying? We definitely gotta, you know, if we gonna be proud to be black, man, we gotta act like it.
All the way through.
You know what I'm saying? You can't be scared when it's time for you to celebrate you. But you all, you know, we are the world for everybody. I just hate that shit, man. I hate that shit.
Yeah, it is.
But let's move on, man.
It's
get on
it's
that
disheartening. It is
let's
disheartening.
Let's go.
Well, my favorite time of the show is
It's the news time, yo. We got the news on YouTube with Sean Cali Park.
Cali Park. What's happening? Look here, man. California is about to ban some of our favorite candy. Skittles, hot tamales, the double bubble gum. They say they pulling them off the shelf. The reason is there are toxic chemicals that could be dangerous that could later cause cancer. My problem with that is this is in all our food. So if you're going to ban these certain types of candies, let's start looking at what they put in the meat. Let's start looking at what y'all put in our cereal. Let's start looking at what y'all put in our juices.
I like Skittles.
I love Skittles. You know, I actually got a homeboy out in California. He hit me up one day and he smoked cigars where he started. You remember Thomas came out here, hung out with us from California.
Yeah.
He hit me up and said, "Hey, Sean, he liked the flavored cigars." So he hit me and was like, yeah,
Smoking candy.
Well,
Cool.
that's what he liked though.
Yeah, you know.
I wouldn't run up on him though, you know. He's a big fella. But he said, "Hey man, can you send me some Javas out here?" I was like, "What's up?" He was like, "Man, they don't sell flavored cigarettes or the pipes or any of that flavored stuff out in California. They banned it.
Right. Hey, I'm my kind of people."
They don't sell any of that. And I was like, "What?" And so he was like, "Yeah, they don't sell it." So I just told him to order it and see what happened. I ain't heard back from him yet, but I'm sure if he ordered it. I think last time I checked, they were saying that they would charge or they would get fined if somebody sells the stuff. They get fined a certain amount for selling that stuff. So they don't sell it. But California, they're trying to crack down on the chemicals and things that's put in, I guess, cigars, cigarettes,
it's still, you know,
food and candy.
Banning it. I mean, I think they gave you a warning. Put a warning label on it. You know, let people make their own mind up. I just looked at something the other day, and I don't know if it was real. You know, I don't eat ramen noodles no more. You know what I'm saying? I ate them as a college student too long. I'm good. But they were saying you're not supposed to put them in the microwave. Mm-hmm. Like I ain't know that.
Yeah, and they're literally liquid salt. Noodles.
Yeah.
Salt in noodle form.
Yeah, I ain't know that.
Yeah, I never put them in the microwave. I always put them in the pot.
Yeah.
Crunch them up, put them in the pot.
You put hot dogs in the pot too. Still, you look
Yeah,
like
yeah. I do a hot dog in the pot.
Yeah, you look like old hot dog.
Yeah, hot dog in the pot. Pause. Moving on, man. My thought on that was, man, if you gonna take the candy, you gotta dig deeper because there's a lot of food out here that's killing us. So don't stop at the candy if that's what y'all gonna do. I still want my Skittles though. Moving on. The author of White Fragility, her name is Robin DiAngelo, said on the panel that people of color need to get away from white people and have some community with each other. Now, we just recently heard this from the author Dilbert, who got canceled for saying, telling white folks to get away from black folks. The difference with this one is her book actually talks about how white people are offended that black people want the same things that they have out of the world. And she spoke about, I think the book came out in 2020, I believe. And it was a bestseller. But it literally just talked about how white people are so scared that black people can be equal with them. And during this panel, she was talking to, it was her and I want to say 2 other black ladies and 1 other white woman. And her point was to say that people who don't concede to anti-racism does not belong in the workplace. So she's literally saying if you okay with being racist, then you don't need to be within the workforce, period.
If I don't know it, how can it affect me in the workplace? I mean, because, we work, we might work with it now.
True.
So, so are we going to where, get your own so I don't have to worry about that? Or is this, like, how do you even govern that?
True. Yeah, it's really no
That's
way
kind of, yeah, how do you govern that? If I ain't at the job, you know what I'm saying, expressing my hate for,
right,
whoever at the job, like, how do you govern that?
And that's even to start off, I'm thinking like, how would you even sanction? And that's affirmative action when it just comes to jobs in general. Trying to have a little diversity, I would guess.
You gotta have that, yeah.
Yeah, certain spots. But to say even then that they're racist, because it's a lot of folks that's cool in your face, but at home they ain't never had no black person in their house, or vice versa.
Or vice versa.
Or vice versa.
Make sure we say that.
Yeah, so it is hard to sanction that, and that's a good question to even think. Like, how would you police that?
Some people write books, man. I get it, but let's relax. Let's relax.
I think it's just at a point now to people just, especially, we've always been fighting, but I think now a lot of people see that there is a nice little beacon to fight for us now, or alongside of us, that people that don't look like us.
We generate money.
Yeah, and so it's getting very
for others.
It's getting very popular now, and so yeah, my thing was the difference between what she said and what the other guy said.
Yeah.
He just literally said, "I don't want to be around no black folks."
Yeah, that's all. Yeah. Moving on.
Oh, goodness gracious.
You and your news.
Oh, yeah, my news. We still up through this thing. Just last week, I think March 17th or 15th, 16th, somewhere in there, a Georgia family was driving up to Chicago for a funeral. They got pulled over in Tennessee for tinted windows and using the passing lane, but they weren't passing people. So literally he was, how some people get in the fast lane and be going 55. So that's what happened. They pulled him over. They found a gun. The gun was registered. He was straight. And then they found like 5 ounces of weed in there. So the cops arrested him, the husband, and the wife. They had 5 kids. So the wife, they released the kids to the wife. They didn't give her anything. They let her go. So as they detained him, she went to go get him out of jail, and DFAC showed up and took the kids from him.
Was kids in the car?
Yeah.
They had weed in the car?
Yeah. It's a misdemeanor, 5 ounces. So,
tent,
which is...
Tent was illegal?
Huh?
Tent was illegal?
I don't know. Well, that's what they put him on for. So nah, I can't let this slide because and it's funny when I first heard the story, I said the same thing until I spoke to a mother, or until I spoke to somebody that was like,
and a gun.
well, the gun was legal, all that was straight.
It's a lot in this car, man.
And it was in Tennessee, so yeah. So you already know how they feel
Tent
about
might
that.
not have been illegal then, because they might have that thing like like I think California it is. They tent can be. Shannon can vouch for that if I'm telling the truth that the tent can be a certain percentage because it's hot as shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it might be darker than most places.
I think it's darker than here.
Oh yeah.
Wait, I think they can have damn near. Am I wrong, Shannon? They can have damn near limo tent out there or something, can't it? Because I'm not sure, but somebody look that up for me. Fact check that for me.
Yeah. So that's pretty extreme to take somebody's kids, not knowing how they're living. For 5 hours? For
defects, big dog.
5 ounces though? And how did they show up to a traffic stop? That's what I'm like. Because the cops was like, we gave the kids back. Like she breastfeed.
Yeah.
They gave the kids back to the mom. They came to the court proceeding to get the husband out and took the kids. They still got them. They still got them chilling.
Maybe when he filed his paperwork, he pop up.
They ain't said nothing, and it's a gag order now.
Did they smell weed?
Yeah, that's what they smelled it.
Oh, so they was blowing with the kids. Okay, all right, all right.
They smelled it, and that's when they found it.
Okay, so they was blowing with the kids.
Now hold on, hold on. Now look at it. Let's break it down. Let's put ourselves in there. If I just blew,
okay,
before I got in the car, I'm strong, right?
You got that
You
gas.
can smell it on me.
You got that gas
on me. Okay, but I ain't smoking in the car.
You ain't smoking in the car.
But when you pull me over, when I let that window down, you gonna smell that gas.
Is it a cloud coming out of the car?
No cloud.
No cloud.
I didn't smoke in the car.
Okay, but okay.
I ain't smoking in the car.
Okay, and I give
that
you
my
that.
cologne at that point.
I give you that.
Yeah,
I give you that.
So to take the kid from him because you smell some weed in my car, and well, you found 5 ounces.
I mean, was it raw?
I don't know. They just said 5 ounces.
I mean,
Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know about that one, man. I think they doing the most with that, and even the, I think the mayor or whoever. The black lady that's over the Tennessee department was like, "Yeah, this is some foolishness. Y'all need."
I don't know about calling it defects, but
Yeah, and it's all on them.
Can't put ourselves in these situations.
It's all on them. So it's out of the states and all that. It's all defects.
Because my tent dark. So is yours actually on your car.
Mine
dark.
Mine was factory tent.
Yeah. Oh, he told me when he put mine on. He said, "This is illegal." Man, put that tent on. I ain't ask you no question.
Cause I got pulled over for tent before.
I did. Matter of fact, I'll tell you later. I did too.
So I don't do that no more. Now no tent.
Are you done with the news, sir?
No, I'm not done with the news. Am I done with the news? Yeah, I think I am done with the news.
No, hold on. It was one I seen in North Carolina. The gun case they got going about it's similar to Georgia from what I understand, where you don't have to apply for the permit, but they do still want to do a background check on you.
Okay.
So it's they made it a little easier for you to get a handgun. This ain't for rifle. This for handguns.
Okay.
But you still have to submit the background check. So
well, they do that here.
That's what I'm saying. I said it's similar, but they haven't. The governor tried to veto it. They trying to jump over him like, nah, we gonna knock yours out. So it's a lot going on. People should watch that, man.
North Carolina?
Yeah, North Carolina.
Is that a Republican or Democrat?
I think it's a Republican. I think I'm not sure. Somebody fact check that too. Moving on.
It sounds like it. If they be pushing them guns.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, he vetoed it, and they was like, nah, we'll knock your veto on this one.
Wow.
So I ain't never seen it happen like that.
Nah, yeah, I ain't seen that either.
So yeah, it's North Carolina.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, that's all we got on the news for this week. I'm sure we got more, but we want to move on to some big and better things. So that's it for the news.
And that was the news with Cali Park.
Oh, man. Anyway, if y'all saw the title up in there, we want to kind of jump into things like that. Some of the... what's one main thing or main decision that you had to make that has affected your life up to this point? Like, what's the biggest decision you had to make up to this point?
Affected me how?
How you live, the way you decided to go in your career path, children, marriage, anything as far as your life in total.
Affected my life. I think when it was no, I can't really say that, sis, because I caused that. So no, I can't deal with that.
Okay.
I think even picking up my family and moving was one of the hardest decisions I had to make, because I knew I wouldn't have no help. You know what I'm saying? When you move into these states for a job, it's just you and whoever. And
Right.
my kids were little. You know what I'm saying? So that might have been one of the toughest things I ever done, was just to pick up and say, "Yo, we out," and just see what happened.
How did that kind of mold you to the person you are now? Like, what kind of effect?
I feel I can do anything I want to now.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I can do anything I want to.
Okay. Mine started a little earlier. Mine was when I graduated high school, and it may sound kind of,
Well, I got you.
because I, grown as an adult, but for me, I always had close friends around, and when college and all those things came up, I didn't want to go away to school. All my friends wanted to go away to school, and most of them that left were going with other people that they knew. So for me, like my best friend growing up, shout out Corey, he went to Tuskegee, and it was like another 3 or 4 classmates that went to Tuskegee. Right. So he still had people to go with. I stayed home and went to trade school, Atlanta Technical College. I knew nobody.
Right.
So for me, it was like I've always, and I've said it on here millions of times, my blessings are the people I keep around me, people I have around me. And that was the first time where I just stepped out on my own and was just like, I'm just going to have to do what I got to do. I ain't going to have nobody around me tell me this, tell me that. And for me, it was a growing moment.
Oh, man, I went away to school myself.
Yeah.
Was excited, but I was excited. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't a thing of fear, nothing. I only looked at schools out of the state and far from Michigan. I didn't look at Ohio. I would never go to school in Ohio anyway. But no shade on you, Loach. But it's go blue around here. But you on the Bobcat side. I feel you. I didn't look at Illinois. I looked at Texas, California. Things like, I looked far because I wanted to see what I actually was made of. Like, what they instilled in me, it was time to put it to use. And I think that's where a lot of us, we scared. You know what I'm saying? We know things, but we won't take the steps to let's see if it'll work. We scared to fail at what we might work.
That's a good point.
You know what I'm saying?
Not knowing that.
Yeah, that it might work. You scared to even try it. So, but I worked out all right.
Yeah. Sis said it was for her getting divorced.
Yeah. She, I don't know. I kind of was sad when she got divorced. Yeah. That nigga cooked, man. But anyway, you know what I'm saying?
Okay. All right, Terrell. See, 98. Was I still
98? God damn.
I was at Metro by then. 98. Yeah. Then I started where I'm working at now. So, but yeah, that was big for me, and just being able to move past all that and get my life rolling from there.
Congratulations, Luch. I see you, Crespo.
Yeah. So yeah, that's one thing. And when I posted it, a lot of people were saying like their marriages or their divorce and moving with the kids. Do you think that's pretty much what we put on ourselves, that it has everything to do with our relationships within our marriages and our kids as the paramount of our being? You know what I'm saying? So for me to ask that question, and most people, it boiled down to either divorce or something with kids. Do you think that's the main thing we strive and live for in today's society?
No, I think we strive just for success and things we want. Like, take Ja, for instance. Ja was straight at her job. She was better, well off, everything. She stepped out on that.
Right.
Just to become Ja the entrepreneur, Ja the the businesswoman.
Right.
Skincare Ja, kale Ja. You know what I'm saying? Ja. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, I just think at this point now, people stepping out to see if what they think about all day that can happen. Even my brother Luch that's in the group, you know, he was one of the first brothers that I actually supported with a clothing line when I got here. And I really, you know, I really didn't know him. We was cool. We see each other pass.
Right.
But when Luch came with his brand, Believe in Self, you know, I had to have it. You know what I'm saying? And it's still going to this day. And you know, he's a good brother. He got good messages, and he, you know, he actually, you know, it's funny that we doing a podcast because Luch got in like early, like he was, you know, putting up doing messages and on nutrition and all that. He got in early. Where we was looking like at that point, we was like, yeah, what the hell he doing? You know what I'm saying? But he was actually just opening the door. He was opening our